Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2014 Cadillac ATS, and today we're going to show you how to install our CarPlay and AndroidAuto system on this vehicle. As you can see, it's already installed and it's paired to our iPhone wirelessly. You can also do it by the wire, and Android Auto is done by the wire. It supports touchscreen, and if you want to come back to your original system, you just hold the home button and everything is there. Nothing gets disabled. You just get an extra function which you didn't have before. And now we're gonna go ahead and show you how to install it in this car. So the tools you're gonna need is a 7mm socket. We're gonna be using this type of screwdriver, but you can also be using your ratchet. Then we're gonna have a 10mm socket with an extension and our panel removal tool. First, we're gonna start by removing the cup holders. So you're just gonna grab it with your hands and pull it up. Then we're gonna open the armrest. Here we're gonna use our panel removal tool to get underneath here and remove this side panel. We're doing that in order to get to this bolt right here. That's the 7mm, and to get there easier, we're also gonna, because our goal is to remove the glove box, and this panel just comes off. So this glove box is held mostly in these 7mm bolts, but I've seen some cars that have just the Phillips, so just something to note. If yours are all Phillips, that's fine, just use a Phillips, but we're going to be using our 7mm. So we're going to remove this bolt. Then we're going to open the glove box, and there's two more. So there's one right here and one in the opposite corner right there. We're going to go ahead and remove them. And now you can close this glove box. So now we're gonna be removing bolts underneath the glove box. So there's one right here. Again, that's the same 7mm. Once you remove it, as you can see, this panel pops off. That's normal. And then you're gonna remove this assembly with connections, because behind there's another 7mm bolt. We're gonna remove it after, but first we're gonna remove this one in the corner. Next, there's one right at the back over here, and it's very hard to see, but that's another 7mm that you're gonna remove right now. Here you go. Once you remove the cover, once you remove this panel with connections, as you can see, that's where my 7mm is going, so that's where it is. It's kind of up there hidden. You might use your hands to remove it. Here you go. Once you do that, now you can drop this panel down. So now we're gonna take our 10mm socket with an extension. Right here, this is the airbag. The two airbags bolts, they hold the glove box in place. Also at the bottom, that's why we have to remove it. So we're gonna take our 10mm, and here you go. This is the nut you're gonna remove from there. And we're gonna do the same on the other side right here. So you're gonna kind of hold the airbag so it doesn't drop on you. So this is the second one, exact same type of nut. So now we're gonna lower the airbag, and you're just gonna rest it here to the side. It's fine, there's nothing's gonna happen to it, don't worry. So right here underneath the airbag, there's another 7mm, which we have to remove. So on the side here, we're gonna remove this panel to get to a few more bolts. So we're gonna use our panel removal tool and just get underneath. And it's held on clips, and then there's two guides. So when you're going to be putting it back, you first put it in with this edge, and then you clip it in. We're going to remove these two 7mm. So now we're going to open the glove box, and we're going to kind of unclip these vents, and as you can see, they just pop out. So here they're held on the two bolts, and then the rest is just clips. And here there's another 7mm, which we have to remove. So at this point, we can lift up the glove box, because there's a hook right here, just like that. and drop it down. And now we're gonna undo these connections here. And now we can move the glove box to the side. So to install the module, we have to get to these two control units. So this is one of them, and this is the other. So this one is just easy. You can kind of lift it up from the back and come out, and it will come out. So we need to get to these two connections, and then we need to get to the back of this one. So to do that, we're just gonna take our 7mm again, and there's two bolts right here. We're just gonna lightly loosen them. Once you loosen them, we're gonna lift up this unit and move it to the side. And if you're gonna look in there, you're gonna see that there's this unit hooks kind of on this clip. So you have to lift it up and pull it out. And this is the clip that I'm talking about. So there's these two bolts, which we just loosened. And that's the clip. You have to lift it up, lift up this unit, and then pull it out. This is the connection that we're going to be working with. So here we have the components that you're going to receive with your kit. So of course you have the main module. These are the two main harnesses that you're going to be connecting to the these original units. Then we have some video cables, microphone, audio cable. There's a cable which we're going to run to the glove box, so you can connect your Android or Apple device by a cable. This is the harness that goes into the module, again from one of these harnesses. And then we have a dummy plug which we're going to plug into the original AUX connection of this car. So first we're going to take our gray harness. As you can see here, has audio in, and these male and female, so they will match with this unit, with this gray connection here. So we're going to plug it in, and then our male end goes on this side. Next we're gonna go to this unit and unplug the corner connection. Same thing, it has a male and female. I'm gonna plug it in. Then we have this blue wire that has to interconnect between these two, so we're just gonna feed it through, because this unit stays at the bottom, this one's at the top. So here you also gotta see to connect it correctly. Here you go. Next, this is the harness that goes to the module. You're gonna see some RCAs here. You can just ignore them. This is if you don't have original rear view camera, but you can use them if you're planning to add a rear view camera with our kit to your car. So this end will go here. Then this end will go into our module, like that. Then we have our audio cable. This is for sound, so you're gonna see here on one end audio in. You're gonna plug it in here, and then audio out is on the other end of the harness for the module. Next, which is very important, is your video cables. And to do the connections, we're gonna get to this blue one right here. This is the one that we're going to be using. So we're going to unplug it, and one of the cables here has a female end, so it will plug in here, and that will go to the LCD out on our module. And then the other cable that we have here will plug in to the original space, and then it will go to LCD in of our module. So here we have our microphone. So you're going to be still using your original Bluetooth for phone calls and so on, but if you want to use Siri when you're doing Apple CarPlay, or you want to use Google Assistant when you're doing Android Auto, you have to be using our microphone. So it's up to you. If you don't use those things, you don't have to wire it, but we're going to show you how to wire it in case you are. So over here you have this panel above the stereo. So if you lift it up and kind of use your panel removal tool, it's a good place to hide the microphone basically. So our goal is to get the wire behind here and feed it through so we can connect it to our module. and the space is kind of tight there, so we're gonna use a coat hanger and some electrical tape. So first we're gonna take our coat hanger and get it through first, like that. Then we're gonna take the end of our microphone and some electrical tape and tie it to the end. And now we're gonna pull it through. Here you go. And you can just position the microphone here underneath. And at this point you can close back this panel. So now the microphone we're gonna feed here, so it's not in the way when we're trying to put back the glove box. And the wire for the microphone is kind of long, so we suggest to use the cable tie that it comes with, and to make it shorter so it's a little bit more neat. And there is a microphone slot right here. So that's pretty much all the connections that you're supposed to do over here behind. Also, there's when you get the kit, this connection might be disconnected. Make sure it's connected. This is on the gray side. So now we're gonna assemble it back because we want to make it nice and neat, and then we're gonna test some things, make sure everything is working properly. So we're gonna put this module or control unit in, and our goal is to have the module rest right here behind the glove box, so it's going to be right around here. So we're going to tuck in all the wires behind and find some space. So there's some space for the wires also on top there. So before assembling everything and covering it with the glove box, of course, you have to test it, and that's what we're going to do right now. So there's 8 dip switches here. So number 8 is on. That's for original rear view camera. And then there's also dip switch 2. This is to calibrate the touch screen. So if we're gonna turn it on, I'm gonna leave the module. We're gonna power on the radio. As you can see here, you got these plus signs, so you just gotta click them. Here you go. That's it. It said okay. So now you can come back to the module and turn off switch number 2. You're gonna press the red reboot button here, and we're also gonna reboot the stereo. So to get to the extra mode, which you didn't have before, you're gonna be using the home button. So you're gonna press and hold it, and it will switch to this mode. You're gonna take this mini USB dummy plug and plug it into the original auxiliary here. So after the reboot, we're gonna take our USB cable. This is what we're gonna actually run to the glove box. We'll show you that a little bit later. We're gonna plug it in here to the USB part. Then we're gonna take our Apple cable, because we're gonna be, which is not included in the kit, but this is so we can test it with our Apple device. Then we're gonna take our iPhone, plug it in, and as you can see, CarPlay launched. So you're gonna again test the most important is if the touchscreen, of course, is working. It is, and then you're just gonna check the sound. So the sound is working, so everything is connected properly. And at this point, we're gonna start assembling everything back. So as you can see, the module is gonna be right here, and it's not in the way of our glove box. This module just goes in its original position here. At this point, you can tighten these 2 7mm. So this is the back of the glove box, so you can choose to make a hole so you can run the wire through, but on this particular one there's this opening which, if you push it down, it's big enough for us to fit the wire in. As you can see here, you have now USB inside your glove box. So now we're gonna put back the glove box and install back these connections here. So when you're putting back the glove box, you gotta first make sure to guide the glove box on these 2 sticking out bolts which held the airbag. So once you get the glove box in there, then you lift it up, and then you gotta hook it right here. Once it's hooked, you just gotta check that all the all the bolts are lining up. Then because the glove box is sagging here a little bit, we're gonna start with the top bolt. So when you get about to this point, this would be again a good time to check everything to see that CarPlay is working, that the sound is working, that none of the wires disconnected while you're securing it. Because once it's assembled, it's not that easy then to take it apart again and do everything all over. So now we're gonna put the vent back. Here it has to pop into its position, which it did. Now we're gonna take the side panel, and as I mentioned before, first you put in the edge and then you clip it in. So here, first, before the airbag, you're gonna put in that 7mm back. And now we can put back the airbag. You gotta make sure that put it on the studs. So first you're gonna hand tighten it, and then of course you have to ratchet it in, because this is the airbag, it has to be secured. Then you're gonna put back this plastic cover. Here you go. You just gotta make sure that the holes line up everywhere. So there's those 4 bolts. First we're gonna put in the bolt that is hiding behind this electrical panel. Now you're gonna put this electrical thing back in, and we're gonna take the cover and cover it up, and then secure it with our 7mm. And then the last 2, so there's one right here, and then the very last one is all the way at the back. So on the inside here, there's another 7mm which you have to put back. That's the one we removed the side panel for. Now we're gonna take this panel, gonna slide it in. Then the last piece is this one. So again, front goes in first, then you put it, lock it everywhere else. So the cup holders, you just drop in and push in, and that's it. At this point, the installation is complete. Again, you can test everything. Once the radio turns on, to get the extra mode, you're gonna just hold the home button, and you're gonna choose the auxiliary input as the source for sound. And so that's it. So again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2014 Cadillac ATS. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.